Alright, we're going to begin a new series in videos, and this is the first part to talking about navigation of the website with it. So as we go through this, I want to talk to you about, there's key thing is about navigation. I mean, your navigation can make or break a website, basically, with it. I can't stress how important it is with it. Navigation changes throughout the years with it. I mean, back then in the olden days, people says less than 3 clicks to get whatever they need from your website. It's much less than that, 1 or 2 clicks to get what you have with it as well. So that's the first thing with it. Keep your information very, 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 very simple. To the point, and the wording, the choice of words you pick for the navigation is very important. The second thing is that you also have real estate, meaning what's on the navigation menu is very it's expensive with it. So everybody wants to be in the front page with it. So just want to let you know as you can start building this with it. So and third, look at your audience and who's looking at this as well. All right. So I'm going to start you out with I'll let you read this part on your own with it, but I want to start out with the visual editor with it. And if you could create a folder with today's date. Today happens to be 04 whatever, it's April 17, 20, but just make sure that you have whatever dates that you have currently with as well. So this is for all future videos with it, so just put whatever the day that you're working in there as well. Inside of that, I like for you to create a file. So if you click on this little new icon over here and just call this thing. I asked you to call this thing what I asked you to call. I think I asked you to call logo logo.html with it, and you hit enter. So if you could, I'm gonna just turn on some stuff here. I'm gonna turn on the word wrap, and then if you could just go ahead and put in your skeleton in here with it as well, with it, and you can see a lot of times the doc type with it. So if you do use your IntelliSense with it, you can use the doc type with it. Here's what I always like to do is I always hit this about 3 times and use the M abbreviation with it, and that way, or if you want to do this, you can do that, or you can do that. It's like the first one. It just knocks out the whole skeleton for you, saves some time with it. So this navigation part, there's going to be three parts to this I want to talk to you about. In this is that we're going to do in my instruction I gave you. Just going back to my instruction, I just want to reiterate with you, there's going to be 3 parts to this task and this code that you have. Of course, everything's going to be inside of the HTML, and another one is the CSS. The third part is the JavaScript. The JavaScript has 2 subparts to it. I want to give you some heads up to that. First of all, the JavaScript shows the tab by default, and the other one is we're going to close up the tab, going back to its default settings with it as well. So there's 2 subparts to that with it as well. All right, okay. So just keep in mind as you're building this, there's 3 parts to this. What is this? I had you call this, create a task A. Maybe this should be called logo, is what I asked you to call, right? Yeah, logo.html, not task A. My apology with it. So please call that logo.html. That's what I think I have you up here. Call it. Let me screw up on it. I want to be consistent with what I'm asking you up here with as well. Hang on. Yeah, logo. So make sure you have your logo, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so come down here. Let's take a look at this before we move on. So navigation system right here. All right. So please call it logo for me. Logo HTML. And like I said, it's this is going to be several segments in the videos that we're going to build. So watch this in 10 minutes or 15 minutes segment. Pause whenever you need to look at the code and see what your screen looks like, my screen with it. The syntax is very important. HTML is very, very forgiving, but when it comes to JavaScript, it is not. Okay, so keep that in mind. It is case sensitive. HTML is not, but the JavaScript part is. So anything between the JavaScript tags, if it's uppercase or lowercase or anything looks like that, it's wrong. It's not going to run. All right, but HTML, it's a lot more forgiving. It's not as case sensitive with it as well. All right. So do we have this part? Let me magnify this. Do you have the basic skeleton up here with it? So what I would like for you to do in this exercise, and just replace that title right now. Let's call this thing your logo. And your logo is basically your branding. I want you to make a logo for your portfolio with it. Remember with it. So it's up to you and how you want to design your creativity and your logo with it. With it as well. So it's up to you and how you want to pull this off with it. So you can make it 2-dimensional, 1-dimensional, 3-dimensional. It's up to you with it. All right. So the first part I want to talk to you about is the HTML part of the code. So if you could for me, go inside your body of your tag with it. We're going to start right off with the div tag. Now you remember now in CSS everything is built around the div tag. That's like the column, your classes, your IDs, everything evolves around this. In the div tag, I like for you to go in and look at, and we're going to create a class, which you haven't done yet. I'm going to call this class tab. We're going to do an internal CSS in the head section with it. So we haven't created this tab yet. All right. We're going to create some buttons. All right, and in the buttons, I'm going to call this class. This class is going to be called tab links. Come to the right of that. And what happens was when I on click, meaning an event takes place, I'm going to call the JavaScript of Open City, for example. All right, so I'll call the method call Open City. All these you can name however you want to call it, but this is a method. Remember in JavaScript that when how do I know this is a method? Well, it has the left and right parentheses, right? So this is the left and right parentheses. I'm going to close this off and come to the right of that double quote, and then I'm going to close that off with it, and inside my button I'm going to just call this thing London right now. I'm going to create 3 buttons basically with 3 countries, right? London, Paris, Tokyo. Or you can actually do this. In a sense, if you're doing this for your exercise with it, your will be home, right? Another one would be your works. The other one is your contact. So these are the type of stuff that you can actually use in place of your portfolio with it. Again, you can be writing your own functions with it as well. All right. So this is your first button that you're going to create. All right. So I'm just going to do one of them, and let me back out so you can see the rest of this code. This is what it looks like, and make sure this you haven't written. Again, this is what's called a method or a function. How do I know it's a method or a function? Because of this left and right parentheses. If I don't have that, I will be using what's called property. All right, just keep that in mind. Either it's a function or a property. Properties don't have left and right parentheses. All right, so let's say I did that. That's my first button basically with it. I'm just going to copy, come down here, Control V, paste that. I'm going to edit this. I'm just going to do 3 of them. I'm still going to keep the classes tab link Open City, and instead of this Open City, I'm going to do open. I'm going to do the event is Paris. The third city, I don't know. Let's see. Pick another city here. Wuhan. No, that's a bad choice. Let's do Tokyo. All right. So somewhere Tokyo. Of course, we got 3 buttons here. The second button is going to be called Paris, so it matches the name of the name of the button that we're calling. The next one is going to call it Tokyo. All right. So these are the 3 buttons that you have as an interface with it. All right. Now, inside of this, this is where you're going to actually go in. You're going to put a lot more information in here with it. So pause the video, make sure you have, this is the part that we have right here. I'm going to stop the video right now with it, and that's the only new part in here. I just added logo in the title. So if you like to pause the video, stop right now. This is the end of part 1 of the menu in class exercise number 8. Part 1, end of part 1.